Hello my tiny babies! Welcome back to my channel. I am Intan Sahira. It's been a while since I talked to you guys. As you guys can see, we successfully reached 2,000 subscribers thanks to my Dimey family. You have been a great supporter. Thank you for believing in me. I love you guys. Today, we are going to talk about your spouse's personality through different nakshatras. This video will be divided into two parts. For those who don't have your VEDIC birth chart, you can click on my description box below. I've provided a link to calculate your VEDIC birth chart. Now, for those who don't know how to find your nakshatra for each houses, I got you, baby. Let's learn together. For this video, we are going to look at the 7th house of your birth chart. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by the nakshatra of Ashwini, then this shows that your spouse have a strong personality, willing to do anything to achieve success. They maintain a good relationship with their family and friends. They are diplomatic, they have the diplomatic personality, and they are likely to involve in illegal activities. For example, I don't know, there's a lot of illegal activities, so they just love to involve in those things. And you have to look at the Aries sign because Ashwini is ruled by Aries and also Ketu. And then you need to focus on the planet aspects and all that as well, because even the slightest aspect from other planets could change the whole thing. So it's really important for you to look at the planet aspects, look at the conjunctions and all that, okay? Now, if your 7th house in your birth chart is ruled by the nakshatra of Bharani, then this shows that your spouse is very genuine at heart, very kind-hearted. They have a brilliant mind. They are very intellectual. They're very loyal and with strong willpower. They are very decisive, they know what decision to make. They are often very wealthy as well, but sometimes they could be rude. They could be seen as rude or stubborn because they don't want to take other people's opinions. You have to look at the sign of Aries because it is ruled by Bharani and also Venus. And don't forget to look at the planet aspects, conjunction and all that, because those conjunction and aspect, even the slightest aspect from other planets, could change the whole thing. So, good luck. Now, if your 7th house in your birth chart is ruled by Kritika Nakshatra, then this shows that your spouse could be very highly motivated, witty, and also sarcastic. I mean, some people who are sarcastic, they could be very funny and they could have a lot of friends, And your spouse could be someone who is loving, affectionate, loves children, and it's just that he can be quite indecisive and he have an anger issue, over aggressive. You have to look at the sign of Aries and Taurus because that sign rules Kritika Nakshatra and also Sun, and you have to look at the planet aspects and conjunction because even the slightest aspect from another planet could change the whole thing. It is very important. This is very crucial, okay? Next, if your 7th house in your birth chart is ruled by Rohini Nakshatra, then this shows that your spouse could be someone who is materialistic. They love money. Maybe they were born in the sign of Taurus or maybe a Taurus ascendant, but they're very materialistic. And they could be self-obsessed, like a narcissist, somehow on the narcissist side, and they appreciate the details. This is good. This is very good. It shows that they're very caring. They appreciate every detail that you make for them, or every detail, and they could even be, very fussy as well, because they focus on the details, those people who focus on the details. And they could be someone who admires beauty. They could be authoritative figure, or they want to be an authoritative figure. They fear of the unknown. They scared if they don't know what's gonna come next. They're scared if they don't know about their future. So they might be into astrology and some shit, and they're scared of change. They could be depressed when they have to go through some changes in their life. Everyone have to go through some changes in their life at some point. But these people with Rohini Nakshatra, they will feel depressed when they have to go through some changes. And they will get aggressive when things don't work their way. You have to look at the sign of Taurus because it rules Rohini Nakshatra and also Moon. And you also have to look at the planet aspects and conjunction, because even the slightest bit of aspects from other planet could change the whole thing. It is very crucial. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by the Mrigashira Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is very easily attracted to beauty, no matter if it's human or no matter if it's thing, a car or house, they love the aesthetics. And they are very funny. They have a great sense of humor. So usually people like this are very friendly, very flirtatious as well. They have a loving nature. They are very intellectual and high morals. They are always busy with something. They tend to make themselves feel busy with something, always do something. They always walk really fast or something like that. And this is like the negative part of it. They can't manage their own finance. This shows that they love to spend their money a lot on beautiful things, maybe on the things that they don't need, just because they think that thing is beautiful, and they always feel nervous. They have anxiety or something like that. You have to look at the Taurus sign and also Gemini, because it rules Mrigashira Nakshatra and also Mars. And you have to look at the planet aspects and conjunctions and all that, because even the slightest aspect from other planets could change the whole thing. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Ardra Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is tough on the outside and soft on the inside. It's like The Rock, I think. I don't know why. It reminds me of The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. It also shows that your spouse is emotionally intelligent. Maybe they understand other people's feelings and all that, emotionally intelligent. They are witty. And they can be someone who is mentally damaged due to some sacrificing, because they love to sacrifice themselves for other people. They're very kind. And they are always effortlessly stand out in the crowd. They tend to have a self-destructive behavior and can't control their actions. They tend to do things impulsively. And they could be unforgiving as well. But you have to look at the sign of Gemini, because Gemini rules Ardra Nakshatra and also Rahu. And you have to check on the planet aspects and conjunctions, because those little things to you, the slightest aspect from other planet could could change the whole thing. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Purnavasu Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse is someone who is hyperactive, always energetic. They have a great moral sense. They always choose good life choices. I think these people are always on a good luck. But they have a short-tempered. But you have to look at the sign of Gemini and Cancer because it rules Purnavasu and also Jupiter. And you also have to look at the planet aspects and conjunctions because those things will give a huge impact. Even the slightest aspects from other planets could change the whole thing. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Pushya Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is very attractive. And your spouse could be someone who is very friendly, who have an engaging in nature, who is very engaging in nature. They have a good impression on people, you know. They are valued in society. They can be impulsive. They can be being taken advantage of because they're too kind and they're too friendly. And you guys have to look at the sign of Cancer because Cancer you rule Pushya Nakshatra and also Saturn. And for those of you guys who don't know, you guys have to look at the sign of, the planet aspects and all that, and conjunctions and all that, because even the slightest aspect from other planets could change the whole thing. Okay? Now, if your 7th house of birth chart is ruled by Ashlisha Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is very good looking. They have a good communication skill. They could be a deep thinker. They could be someone who have a high intellectual. They have a very high wisdom. They have a high willpower. So it's like they have a huge dream that they want to achieve. And okay, the bad thing about this is that they could be emotionally fragile. And they could feel uncomfortable talking about personal things. So if you have this person in your life right now, if you have your 7th house in Ashlisha Nakshatra and you have a boyfriend that you feel like they don't want to talk about the personal things, they don't want to talk about their feelings and all that, and they tend to feel left out or anything like that, this shows that they could be a softie. And they could feel uncomfortable talking about personal things. That's why they behave like that. You have to try to understand them, okay? And then you have to also look at the sign of Cancer because Cancer ruled Ashlisha Nakshatra and also Mercury. And you have to look at the planet aspects in conjunction and all that because even the slightest aspects from other planets could change the whole thing. Okay? Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Magha Nakshatra, then this shows that your spouse could be someone who have a high sense of dignity. They have a high pride. They're very playful. They're approachable. They're very kind. They are loved in the community. They are loved in the society. They are very charismatic. They have like a magnetic thing that attract people naturally. And they could be arrogant at the same time. Maybe because they have all those good things in their life, so they could be a little bit arrogant. And you have to look at the sign of Leo because Leo rules Magha Nakshatra and also Ketu. And you have to look at the planet aspects and conjunctions and all that because even the slightest aspects from other planets could change the whole thing. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Purva Falguni Nakshatra, then this shows that your spouse could be someone who care about self-care. They care about their well-being. They care about how to be relaxed, how to relax themselves. They will buy some stuff that makes them feel good, They care about their mental health and all that. and they have a very good luck. Usually people with this nakshatra have a very good luck, and they could be someone who appreciate mental peace and put it first. This is why they could be self-indulgent as well, because they keep on buying things for themselves because they think that they deserve it. Yes, it's not wrong, but to be self-indulgent, it's kind of too much. And your spouse could be a narcissist. It's not that I said that he could be a narcissist or she could be a narcissist, obviously. No, but maybe because they care about themselves. They have pride in themselves. So, and your spouse could have this attitude that make people feel small and out of place, you know? So you have to look at the Leo sign because it rules Purva Falguni Nakshatra and also Venus. And you guys have to look at the planet aspects in the 7th house, conjunctions of the 7th house, because even the slightest aspect from other planets to the 7th house could change the whole thing. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Uttara Falguni Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is compassionate and sympathetic and willing to give anything for their family and friends. And they could be someone who is impulsive as well, and lack of patience. But you have to look at the Leo sign and Virgo sign because it rules Uttara Falguni Nakshatra and also Sun. Now, I want to remind you guys to always check your planet aspects and conjunctions, because even the slightest aspect from other planets could change the whole thing. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Hasta Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is high intellectual, high wisdom. They love to help other people, keen to help others, and they're very kind, they're very generous, they are very polite and vulnerable. They sometimes, maybe in their life, they've been cheated on because they're too kind. Maybe if you have this person in your life right now, you might realize that your partner always want to make sure that they are sure of what they sign up for. For example, if you guys want to be in a relationship with them, they want to be sure that you will love them forever, because this person hate being cheated on because they have been through that and they feel uncomfortable of the uncertainty. So you guys have to look at the sign of Virgo because Virgo rules Hasta Nakshatra and also Moon. Then you guys have to look at the planet aspects and conjunctions, because even the slightest aspect from other planets could change the whole thing. Okay, so it is very important for you to check on that. Now, if your 7th house of your birth chart is ruled by Chitra Nakshatra, this shows that your spouse could be someone who is emotional with their possessions. They could judge people the wrong way. They are like a combination of generous and clever at the same time. They can be emotionally unstable and have mood swings. Emotional with their possessions shows that they could be emotional. They could think that you are one of his possession as well. So they could be someone who is very emotional about that. Like, no one can touch mine. What's mine? Okay? So they're the type who think like that. And you have to check on the sign of Virgo and Libra because it rules Chitra Nakshatra and also Mars. And you guys have to check on the planet aspects and conjunctions, because even the slightest aspect from other planets in conjunction from other planets could change the whole thing.